So good evening, guys. I'm Naushad, your instructor. So let's wait for 5 more minutes. We have still students joining in. I hope you guys were present in yesterday's demo class. If you were not present, then we just discussed the basic syllabus that we will be covering in this class. So we already provided the recordings of that demo class to all the students who approached us. So if any of you is not in yesterday's demo class, uh, I will again instruct you how to get in touch with us and get the recordings of yesterday's class and how to access today's recording as well. So let's wait for 5 more minutes. We have still students joining in. So till then, what you can do is I'll give you some links. I want you guys to go there and download the Python and Visual Studio, right? So we will be downloading Python and Visual Studio during the class itself, right? So and guys, during the class, we have Kiran, Sindhu, Madhu, and Likhita, Varun in the class right now. So I want one help from you. I'm sharing my WhatsApp number on the chat. So during the class, if there is any disturbance or if there is any disconnections, if you can text me immediately on WhatsApp, that should help me, right? So hopefully there will be no disconnections, but when I am in the class, I am very focused. So sometimes there might be some connection issues, right? So I want you guys to assist me whenever there is a disconnection. Hopefully there will be no disconnection, right? So I'm sharing few URLs in the chat section. First, before, let me share the screen. So is my screen visible? Anyone can unmute themselves and text me.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So my voice is also audible, clear and clear, right? So
Yes.
yeah. Now go to this URL. I'm sharing that in the chat. Go to python.com/downloads. I shared the URL in the chat section. Go to that URL. And if you go to that URL, you should see something like this. So click on this download button, right? So this is where you download the Python, you start downloading the Python. So if you are a Mac user, it will say you are a Mac user. If you are a Windows user, it should be Windows written here. So download it into your systems, and the version should be 3.14.2. So most of the Mac users will get Python pre-installed in their computers, but still make sure you download this Python right now, and I will guide you through the installation process during the class, right? For now, start the downloading process. It will take few minutes to download. So for that, I'm suggesting you to start downloading right now itself before I start the class, right? And again, once you click on download of Python, go to this website again. We will be using Visual Studio Code Editor during this course period, right? So we will use that editor to write our programming in Python. So go to the second URL that is shared in the chat section, code.visualstudio.com. Go to that URL and download, click on the download button. So this Visual Studio Code Editor is around 250 MB. So it might take time for some of you guys to get that file downloaded. So let that downloading happen. And during that process, I will start taking the class, right? Clear? So everyone, please try to download Python and download Visual Studio. Don't install it yet. I will guide you through the installation process. Just start the downloading process. So we will be waiting for 1 more minute. Yeah. So go to these two websites that is shared in the chat section, and you can also see on the board here. So go to pythons.org/downloads and start downloading the Python editor. Sorry, the Python here, the latest version of Python. And then also in the new tab, open code.visualstudio.com and start downloading Visual Studio. Right. So to all the new students who recently joined in again, go to these two URLs that are shared in the chat section and start downloading both Python and Visual Studio. Right. So now today, so while the downloading begins, I will do some theory part. I will explain you why Python is, what is Python all about for 5 or 10 minutes. And then I will guide you through the installation process once they get installed in your system, right? So today we'll be discussing about Python installation, and then we will also install Visual Studio Code onto our machines, and we will also explore this Visual Studio Code. And then I will try to explain you the importance of Python, and we'll start coding in Python in this class itself. All right. So let's begin the class. Let me open up my slides. So I hope you guys started downloading Python and Visual Studio. So I want you guys to install these things in the class itself and start writing the code in the class itself. So for that reason, I'm asking you guys to download this right now, right? So today, let's start learning some Python. In this first lesson, I will give you an overview of what Python is, what makes it special, and why it is used so widely across different domains, right? So what is Python? Python is any programming language, just like any other, it is any other programming language, just like C, C++, Java, JavaScript, or PHP, right? So, but what makes Python different? What makes Python special? Python is special because it is simple and easy to learn. It is powerful and it's a very general purpose language. Now, why I say it is simple and easy to learn? Because of its clean and readable syntax, right? So here syntax, we can mean that when we write code, this allows you to focus on logic rather than worrying about complex syntax like you see in other programming languages. For example, the one you see here, this is how you print something, you print your name on your screen using Python. Right? This is how you print a name using Python. And in case of Java, this is how simple a Java program looks like when you want to print something on the screen. So do you see the difference? Just take a moment and compare these two pieces of code. This is, sorry about my text here, one second. So this is Python code and this is Java, right? So do you see the difference? The number of lines, the kind of syntax that we are using here, there is a huge difference, right? There is a huge difference. Why? Because here in Python code, there is no need for you to define the data type. Just based on the value that we provide, it declares the data type. Python itself declares the data type. There is no class or main method required. Just write and run. It's that simple and readable. And for people who are new to programming, and just explaining what this is all about, there is no need for you to worry if I mention any technical words, and just giving you the basic theory till the files get downloaded, right? I hope you guys are downloading the files. So for all the students who joined recently, so there are two links that I shared in the chat section, python.org/downloads and code.visualstudio.com/. So visit these links and download Python and Visual Studio onto your machines. And once you download it, I will start explaining those concepts. right? So we have, so Python is this simple. There is no need for you to follow the huge syntax, right? Whereas in Java or any other programming language, first, in case of Java, you have to create a main class. Then you have to include a main method, right? You have to include a main method as the entry point, and then you have to declare the strings, and then you have to write more code for this. You have to follow all these syntaxes, braces. So so more code just to print a simple message, right? This is just a sample demonstration to help you understand that Python focuses on what you want to do. In this case, you want to print your name on the screen, right? So Python focuses on that. Whereas Java and other programming languages, for them, first you have to define how to do it. They expect you to define how to do it. That is, you have to enter these braces, you have to enter these methods, then you can perform what you want, right? So that is the difference. Python simply lets you do what you want, whereas Java and other languages expects you to follow their huge syntax first, and then lets you do what you want. That is the main difference between these languages, and that's why we call Python is simple and easy to learn, right? And why I call this as a general purpose language. Most scripting languages are for special purpose, right? If you know PHP is for web development. It is focused on web development. When you see JavaScript, it is mainly focused on web development as well. But Python is different. It is a general purpose language. It is a general purpose language. Why? Because it not just focuses on one development, one technology, it focuses everywhere. That means you can build almost anything with it. You can build desktop applications, you can build web applications, you can build games, you can build the data science and analytics projects with it, you can build machine learning and artificial technologies with it, you can have the automation scripts, you can also develop IoT systems with it. So wherever there is need for programming, Python says, I am present here. So that's why we call it a general purpose language. It is not just dedicated to web programming or a desktop application. It is having its presence everywhere, right? Python has libraries and frameworks for all these domains, making it one of the most versatile programming language ever created, right? So for web development, Python uses Django, right? For games, there is another package. For data science and analytics, we use NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib, right? For machine learning and all, we use TensorFlow, Scikit, and all these packages. So there are huge kind of packages developed around Python, which makes us easy to develop use Python for different kinds of applications. This topic I already discussed yesterday. I just want to show you visually here, right? And why this is called data centric? Because of the packages that it is providing, powerful packages that it is providing. The NumPy and Pandas packages for data analytics, the Matplotlib and Seaborn for data visualization, the TensorFlow and PyTorch for AI and deep learning. So all these packages are built in Python and are having huge developer support, open source support. So for that reason, this is powerful and data centric language, right? So this is a small theory about the introduction of Python. Now let's install the Python, right? So I hopefully have you guys have you guys downloaded this Python in your machines? Guys, come on, yes or no in the chat section, please. Have you guys downloaded the Python from the URL that I provided? Perfect. Only 3 students downloaded, or all other students downloaded it as well? We have around 20 students in the class. Guys, come on. Yes. So we have more students who downloaded the Python, and I hope you also downloaded the Visual Studio. Visual Studio is around 250 MB, I guess, or more, but it takes time. If it is downloaded in your systems, well and good. Now, what I want to do is the installation of Python is pretty basic. Just like if you ever installed any kind of software in your computers, you should be able to install Python as well. So click on the downloaded file. Click on the downloaded file. So for me, I downloaded the file this morning. I already have this Python installed in my machine for demonstration purpose. I have this Python downloaded. So if I go to downloads, you can see the Python file downloaded here. So it is sorting 1 second. So click on that Python file that is downloaded and start installing it, right? If any issues in between the installation, just text in the chat message. So here, if you go to the download section, you should see a Python package, right? So click on it, double click on it, and start installing the process. And before you install, make sure if you are a Windows guy, make sure you click on this add python.exe to path, right? You make sure you check this button and start installing the process. So I hope you guys check this button. Check this button. Once you double click that Python package, you should see a screen something like this. So you have to check this button and click on install now. So this is the same process for both Mac and Windows users. Since I have Python already installed in my system, I'm trying to show it through a presentation, but the process is very simple. Click on this check button. It is specially in Windows. For Mac users, this I personally think this should not ask this column does not exist. So just it keeps on installing. So keep clicking on next, continue, whatever button you see, and click on finish. Once you do that, text me in the chat section that the installation of Python is finished. So Tariq, have you installed Python? Yes or no in the chat section? Have you downloaded and clicked on the Python package? Yes. So is the installation process finished? I mean, have you reached till the end? Yes or no? Okay. Guys, what about other people? Yeah, people are saying installed Python. Lokesh says Python installation finished. So once you finish the installation of Python, text in the chat section, guys. Let's quickly move to the installation of Visual Studio, right? Don't install Visual Studio right now. I will direct you. First, install the Python in your machines. Once you install the Python, open your terminals and command prompts. If you are a Mac user, Tariq, you as well, make sure the installation process goes through. And once the installation process is done, just open your command prompts. I hope you know how to open the command prompts from the start menu. If you are a Windows user, from the start menu, select the CMD, type CMD and select the command prompt. And if you are a Mac user, open the Spotlight by clicking on command and space and type terminal. Once you type terminal, you should see a terminal drop down, right? Click that terminal from the drop down and type Python 3. Python 3 if you are a Mac user. And if you are a Windows user, type Python space hyphen version, Python minus version, Python space minus version, right? This should give you the current version of Python that is installed in your system. Since I am a Mac user, I am typing Python 3. And now if I click on enter, this should give me the Python version that is installed in my Mac. So the Python version that I have in Mac is 3.14. So if you see this version number, then you have successfully installed Python in your systems, right? So how many of you are able to see this version number? Please type their version number in the chat section, guys. Come on. Anyone facing issue in opening command prompts? Yeah. Akura says Python 3.14.2. Sindhu says 3.4. Perfect. So guys who are lately joining the class, The links are shared in the chat section. Here are the links for Python and Visual Studio. Go to these links and download these packages, right? Visual Studio is the code editor that we will be using, and Python is the language that we will be working throughout the course. So I shared again these URLs in the chat section. So the first URL is for Python, the second URL is for Visual Studio. Go to the both URLs and start downloading both packages, right? Python, you will install a zip package for Visual Studio, and you will install a .pkg package for Python. So download those both. This is for all the new students. So we have students who are saying that they installed Python versions. We have Pavan, we have Lokesh, we have Rishika, and we have Sindhu. Yeah. So more and more students are installing Python. That's very good, guys. And come on, we have around 20 students. I want all 20 responses in the chat section, guys. Everyone, come on, install Python in your systems. And now, students who installed Python, I hope you guys tested what the version is. So once you are able to see the version number in the command prompt or terminal, that means you installed successfully. And now let's go to the Visual Studio. Now Visual Studio is a big package, which is around, I think, it's around 266 MB as said. So unzip that, double click on it, unzip it, and start installing that Visual Studio as well. Right? It is the basic installation. 1 second, follow the PPT, follow my screen first. 1 second, come back to the screen, come back to the live screen. Come back to the live screen. And now, while installing the Django, sorry, while installing this, 1 second. So yeah, this is part of Visual Studio. So while installing the Visual Studio, once you are here, once you double click on Visual Studio and once the pop-up, once you see the pop-up, the setup pop-up of Visual Studio, click on accept the agreement. That should be checked. And once you accept the agreement, click on next, and then click on next, and then click on 1 second here. Here, if you are seeing these three options unchecked, check these three options. This is for your convenience, right? Create a desktop icon. Yes, you want it. Create, check this. And then you also check these two check boxes. So I want all the 5 check boxes checked in your setup. Now, once you check all those, click on next. Click on install. That's it. The installation process begins. So once this Visual Studio Code is installed, update me in the chat section. In the end, you should see the finish. You should also see a checkbox saying that launch Visual Studio Code. So yes, click on it and click on finish. As soon as you click finish, there should be this Visual Studio Code editor opening up in your systems, right? So do that immediately, guys. And once the installation of Visual Studio is done, text me in the chat section saying Visual Studio installed. Guys, please, everyone, all the 20 members who are in the class, start installing this stuff, because we will code in today's class itself. We will start coding in Python in today's class itself, so that it will save your time after the class. There is no need for you to practice for tomorrow's class. So we have Navya saying VS Code installed. We have Kishore saying VS Code installed. Perfect. Sindhu also installed VS Code. Rishika also installed VS Code. Come on, guys. We have 5 students who installed VS Code. We have Rajini. We have Rajini also installed. So by now, you should have installed both Python and VS Code. And the main thing you have to remember is, without installing Python, don't install VS Code. Follow my words. First install Python and then go back to the Visual Studio zip file. Then install the Visual Studio Code Editor. There is a reason for you to do this. I will explain that reason. First install the Python and then Visual Studio Code Editor. So we have students installing Visual Studio Code. Perfect. Now if you open up the Visual Studio Code, open up the Visual Studio Code Editor. if you open the Visual Studio Code Editor, you should see something like this. Look at my screen here. You should see something like this. This is how the Visual Studio Code Editor looks. This is what we will be dealing with for 30 days. 15 days while discussing the Python fundamentals, and another 15 days while discussing the web development in Django. And the data analytics 15 days, we will be installing Jupyter Labs. So that process is different. I will explain that process once we are into data analytics. For now, we will be practicing all Python fundamentals in Visual Studio Code Editor, right? So do you guys see this kind of screen on your laptops and systems? Do you see this? Yes or no in the chat section, guys? Yeah, Kishore, no need to worry if you install VS Code first, but make sure you install Python as well before following my class, right? Kishore, quickly install Python as well. There is no need of following the order, but there might be some students who install VS Code and who will ignore installing Python. So for that reason, I'm just stressing on the word that install Python first and then install Visual Studio, right? Guys, I have only few students saying that VS Code installed. I want every student to say that VS Code is installed. Let's do some Python in this class itself. Come on, guys, we have like 21. I want all 21 responses in the chat section, right? So you will be seeing something like this. Do you see the screen? Do you see this kind of screen? Yes or no, guys, in the chat section, please? So Rishika says she is able to see this the Visual Studio screen, right? You should also be able to see a Visual Studio screen, something like this on your laptops. So once you open up the Visual Studio Code Editor. Now I will start explaining if one second. I will start explaining you. Let's explore this Visual Studio Code Editor first, and then let's start writing Python on it. So you might be seeing some white screen. I have a black screen, so that my preference. I will show you how to change the visual appearance of Visual Studio Code as well. So you might be seeing some white screen by default, right? So for some laptops, it might be dark. For some laptops, it might be light color. So it is based on your laptop settings. So overall, now if you observe to your left, you have few icons here, right? You have few icons. The first icon is called Explorer. Click on it. Click on the Explorer. Once you click on the Explorer, you see a green button called Open Folder, right? Click on it. Click on Open Folder. Once you click on Open Folder, this is how you start opening up your project folders, your project directories in Visual Studio, right? So now to make things easier, let's create a project folder on our desktops, right? So here I will navigate to my desktop. Once I click on Open Folder, this is the pop-up that I have. Now I will move to my desktop folder, and in the desktop folder, I will create a folder called Python batch. So this is the directory that we will be working on, right? I'm naming this directory as Python batch. You can name it as you want, but if you follow my names, it will be easy for you to follow throughout the course duration, right? So all the files, all the folders from now onwards, I will be creating them inside this Python batch directory. So I am creating a Python batch directory on my desktop here. Now I have a Python batch directory created. So if you go to your desktops, you should be able to see the directory that you created. So this is the new directory that I created, right? So now if I open this, this is a empty directory, right? This is a empty directory that we have. So guys, I hope you guys are able to follow me. And now this is the empty directory that we have. Now let's open this. Click on the open in Visual Studio. Click on that open empty directory. So now Visual Studio should open up your Python batch directory to your left side. There is a label called Explorer. Under Explorer, you should be able to see Python batch directory there itself, right? Are you able to see that? Guys, come on. Are you able to see that? Fine, perfect. One second. And now on to your right, you have something, another window. Just click on the close button. If you observe my screen, there is a build with agent screen. Close it just so that you will be having some extra space on your screen. Close that screen. So once you close that screen, you will be having two divisions on your visual editor. On your left, you will be having the Explorer. On your right, you will be having the file called welcome, right? So now let's go into the Python batch directory. And in this Python batch directory, let's create an other subdirectory, right? Let's create an other subdirectory. So how to create that? Just by clicking on this icon, this second icon where you have a new folder icon. So click on it. Once you click on it, it will create a new folder. You have to name that folder. So for this, I'm naming it as demo day 2, right? This is demo day 2. So all the source code files that we will be working on will be in this directory from now on. So I created a demo day 2 directory. Now inside this demo day 2, I want to create a file called index.py. So to create a new file inside this directory, click on this first icon that you see on my screen. It's called a new file icon. You can click on it, and now it is asking for the name. The name that I want to give is index.py, right? So .py is the extension of all Python files, guys, right? I hope you guys know what an extension is. A text file has a .txt extension. A PDF file has a .pdf file extension. A PHP file will have .php. A HTML file will have .html. In a Python file will have a .py extension. So this .py extension is very important for you to start writing Python, or else Visual Studio will not recognize this as a Python file at all, and you cannot execute your programs as well. So for that, make sure you enter the .py extension, right? So now click on enter. Once you click on enter, on to your right, this index.py file should open up. Index.py file should open up. That's perfect. Now we learned how to create a directory, project directory, and how to add subdirectories in that project directory, and also we learned how to create a index file, right? Now what I want you to do is go to this file on top. On Mac, this is how the UI looks like. On Windows, you will have an other UI, but the options will be same. So go to this file and make sure this auto save option is by default checked in, by default selected, right? So if that is selected, well and good. If that is not selected, select it, because from now onwards, when you start writing some code here on Python, this code will be auto saved. There is no need for you to keep on saving this file, right? So this code will auto saved, right? So there is no need for you to keep on saving the file. So for that reason, you should make sure that this auto save is by default checked in. Perfect. Now let's explore other options that we have in the left side menu. The first option is the Explorer, right? And the second option is the search. So this search option, we'll be using it when we need it. When we have like hundreds of files and we want to search a keyword, then we can make use of the search file. That's different part, but we have a search file. Now what I want you to do is go to the extensions, right? Go to these extensions. So these are the extensions that other companies are providing for Visual Studio Code, right? So here in the search extensions, I want you to search for Python, Python, search for Python, right? Once you search for Python, you should see a Python extension that is developed by Microsoft. Make sure you click on it, right? So you have many Python files here, many Python extensions. I want you guys to click on this Python that is developed by Microsoft, right? So once you click on it, you see a extension page here that says Python, and Microsoft.com is the developer of this Python extension. Now, since this extension is installed in my laptop, I have an uninstall button. But you guys are new to Visual Studio Code, so you should have an install button there. So click on that install button. That will install Python extension on your Visual Studio Code. So go ahead, install that Python extension. So once you click on install, that Python extension will be installed on the Visual Studio Code, and by default this Python debugger, the other extension which you see, it should also be installed along with this Python extension, right? So once you install this Python extension, say in the chat section that extension installed. Guys, come on in the chat section. Once you install the Python, text me. So Lokesh is having an do you want to install the recommended Python extension from Microsoft for the Python language? Yes, Lokesh, click on install. Any issue there? Yeah, so Navya installed Python extension. I want other guys also to install Python extension. So extension installed from Rajni as well. Guys, come on, make it quick. Make it quick. At least type S in the chat section once you install this extension. I want S in the chat section. So Kishore shared a screenshot. Switch to pre-release version. Yeah, you already installed the Python extension, right? So that's fine. So the extension is already installed in your VS Code for some reason. So if you did it from your side, that's fine. Right? So installed guys. Shall we move forward? Fine, perfect. Now, Python installation is done. Python debugger should also be installed. If that is not installed, click on this Python debugger, which is provided by Microsoft again, and also install it. So by this, we are installing Python extension. So this extension got nothing to do with the real Python package, guys. So you have to install that Python before you get into Visual Studio Code and install this Python extension. This is just an extension. You should have a Python installed in your laptops before you do that, right? So install Python and now come to Visual Studio Code and then install the extension of Python, right? So once you install this Python extension, we are good to go. So now let's change the UI experience of this Visual Studio Code, right? So since we are gonna spend some hours, spend some like 30-45 days on this Visual Studio Code, we want some good UI for our Visual Studio that suits us, that suits our mood, right? So let's go to settings and go to themes and click on color theme. Once you click on color theme, you should get all this drop down in the color theme. You can make use of arrow buttons to switch through themes. So click on top arrow or bottom arrow buttons on your keyboard to switch through themes, right? So you have different kind of default themes provided by the Visual Studio Code, right? So you can select the theme that you want, right? For example, let's say I select this maybe I selected this solarized dark. Maybe I will select this red, right? So I selected this red. So once I select this red, all the extension, all the visual appearance of my Visual Studio Code change based on the theme that I selected, right? If you go to your Explorer and if you click on index.py, again the place where you start writing your code also changed. So make sure you select the theme that you want for your editor. It's your personalization. So I personally prefer this GitHub Dark default theme. So GitHub Dark default theme is not provided by VS Code. It is provided by GitHub community. So to install this theme, again, go to extensions. Guys, come on. If you want to install this theme, you can go to extensions, and then in the extensions, you can search for GitHub space theme. Once you search for GitHub space theme, you will get a lot of extensions that were developed for GitHub. but I want you guys to select this GitHub theme, which is developed by GitHub, right? Now open it and click on install. I already installed it on my VS Code, so I have a uninstall button. You can go ahead and install this if you want this kind of theme that I am using, but you are still free to use whatever theme you want, right? I'm just showing you the purpose of this extension tab that we have here. There are many other tools that we can install on our VS Code, right? We can also install Jupyter Labs on our VS Code. So all this thing we'll be discussing in the future classes. For now, we installed Python and we also installed GitHub theme, right? We also installed Python debugger on our Visual Studio Code editor. Perfect. Now we are ready to go. We have our Python installed. We have our Python. We have Visual Studio Code installed. We customized the Visual Studio Code as per our need, right? So now let's go ahead and create our first program in Python. So obviously the first program, we want to print something on the screen. Now if you look, one second. So if you look at this tool which I'm using here to explain you guys is the OneNote tool that is provided by Microsoft. This is a Mac app. You also have this software available for Windows user as well in the Windows App Store, right? So this is one of the tools that I'm using. This is a desktop application. This is a system application. Right? So in this system application, you have some label names here. You have some label names here. You see home, you see insert, you see draw, you see view, right? There are many label names here. So to create those label names, to print those label names onto the screen, people make use of a function. That function is called print function, right? So print function, we use this print function to print something on the screen, right? So this print function is a default function, inbuilt function provided by Python. So now let's go ahead and print home, insert, draw, view on our screens, right? Print function and then open and close braces. So by default, VS Code will help you to open and close the braces, and within the braces, enter these double quotes, right? And in the double quotes, enter home, right? That is the first label that we see here. That is the first label that is printed on this editor. So once you enter home, to run this code, we wrote our first Python code successfully. Now to run this code, you see this button, right? The play button to your right, that is run Python file. So click on it. Once you click on it, this Python file gets executed and it will start printing on our VS Code itself. So VS Code, there is a terminal here. In the terminal, you see the output. So we successfully printed the home label now. Now let's go ahead and print insert, draw, and view labels as well, right? I'm showing you practically because this is how the names are printed. Anything that you see on the screen on any app, any software, this is how those things are printed. They make use of print function. That is the purpose of print function, to print something on the screen. So I will go and start printing view. That is one of the labels that we have in the OneNote, right? And also print draw, right? So we have three labels, and then I will also print insert. So this is how you print something on something in Python, right? And then again, I click on the run button. Once I click on the run button, I see the output here: home, view, draw, insert, right? So successfully, we learned one function that is called as print function, which is a inbuilt function provided by Python. And the purpose of that function is to print something on the screen, right? That's it. There is nothing else you have to do to print something on the screen. So guys who are coming from other programming languages, I think you might be finding this simple, but we also have students from marketing and sales department joining as well. So that's why I'm trying to elaborate the explanation, but no need to worry. Within 1 and 2 days, we will catch up the pace. Those students will also catch up with us, and then we will have our syllabus running, right? So for now, try to understand how we code in Python, right? This is how you print something in the editors. That's the first function that we are learning today. And then we have 15 minutes left, guys, in the class. So let's go ahead and also try to understand what programming is all about for 5 minutes. And then for next 10 minutes, I will share other details. This will be our final demo class. And the main classes will start from Monday. And for Indian students, it is Tuesday. And you know the timings, right? The same timings, right? So Friday, we will be taking the break. To register all our registered students, we need a day of time. And so let's quickly discuss what programming is about. Programming is simple, guys. Programming is simple. First, in programming, you have to learn how to store and handle data. This data can be anything. It can be a string, it can be a text file, it can be text, it can be a number, it can be a decimal number, it can be a PDF file, it can be an image. Anything that is available on your system is a data, right? So you have to understand how to store and handle that data first. And after understanding how to store and handle that data, you have to understand how to perform operations on that data. These operations is nothing but performing calculations on the provided data. Let's say you have numbers, right? You want to perform some mathematical operations on those numbers. So for that reason, we make use of some operations, operators available in Python to operate on the stored data, right? So first, you have to learn how to store the data, and then you have to learn how to perform operations on that particular data, right? So if you understand these two, programming is simple for you. Now, in the beginning, let's start working with how to store and handle the data, right? In this example, which you see here, let's start with storing and handling the data. How we do that? We do it with a variable. What is a variable in Python? It is a name that points to the memory location where data is stored. So I will let you understand this in a very simple way. So this is the example. This is how a variable looks like. Give me a second. Let me open up my. So this is how a variable looks like. Here, the variable name is instructor, and the data that is being stored in this variable is Naushad, right? So what is happening here is this Naushad data that you see on your right side is a text data. It's a string data, right? I want this data to be assigned to this variable name called instructor. So whenever I use instructor in programming, Naushad will be printed, right? So whenever you do this, what is happening is a special memory is being created in the RAM of your computer, and that special memory, that memory is storing this Naushad data in it, this Naushad in it. And this variable, what is happening is, because of this assignment operator, this variable, this instructor is acting as a label to this data. This is mapping towards this data. So indirectly, this instructor variable is getting access of the data that is stored in this memory. That data is nothing but Naushad. So this is the backend explanation of the variable, guys. But overall, the concept is simple. I will try. Let's try to go. Let's try to do the same in our VS Code now. Let's try to do that. Right now, let's create a new file here. in the demo2 directory, let's create a new file. Follow with me, guys. You also create a new file. I will call it as lesson2. And in the lesson2, we are learning about variables. Now, the instructor variable, I will type out the name and then assignment operator and then the variable data that I want to store here. One thing that I missed out here is the .py extension. We missed out it. So what I can do is I can right click on this lesson_2 and then click on rename, and then I can write .py here. So that will be a Python file from now, right? So now this is a Python file. Now it will show all kinds of colors while writing the Python code. So here instructor is the variable name, and the data that this variable name is gonna store is Naushad, right? That's my name. So if I want to directly print out Naushad, I can go ahead and use this instructor name here and click on run button. So once I do that, this run button prints out the Naushad name here in the terminal, right? Because this Naushad is being assigned to this instructor variable, and this variable can be printed anywhere you want in the code. So that's how variable works. But guys, if you are finding this hard to follow, we will still be continuing the variable concept in our next class. But I just want to give you demonstration about how Python code works, right? So now we have instructor as Naushad, and Naushad is the data that is being stored in the instructor. That's what I want to explain you with this example. What was the theory that I said? First, we have to learn how to store and handle the data. Here, we are storing this data, Naushad, inside this instructor variable, and then we are printing this out. That is, we are handling this variable to print out wherever we want in the code. Clear? Any questions here? Is everything fine, guys? Are you able to follow? Yes or no, guys, in the chat section, please. Come on. Very simple concepts and very easy to understand, very simple to read as well. So here, indirectly, what people keep on saying is Naushad is stored in instructor variable. Technically, that is not right terminology to use. Naushad is not stored in instructor variable. Naushad is stored in the memory, and instructor is getting permission to access that Naushad's data. That is using the assignment operator. This is called as assignment operator. In programming, we don't call this as equal to. We call it as assignment operator. There is another operator called as equal to operator. Regarding that in future classes, but now we learned an operator called as assignment operator. There are number of operators in Python, and one of the operator name is assignment operator that we will be using here. So clear, guys? Is the concept clear? Any questions here regarding the print function or regarding the variables? Any questions, any queries? Come on, guys, yes or no? In the chat section, is the concept clear? Yeah, good so far. Only Rishika is able to follow. Come on, guys. Yeah, clear. So these are very simple concepts. And from next class, we will be getting into much deeper concepts of Python. We have 15 days to cover all these fundamentals. So we will be having that fast pace to start learning the concepts. We'll be catching up with the speed that is required. I'm just stressing on the definitions because we also have new students in the class who are new to the programming, right? So they need to understand what a variable is, what a print function is, and all that. So I hope even the new students understood the concept. Now, if you are able to execute this on your VS Code, then you are good to go. You can execute any kind of program from future classes. So this is it for today's class, guys. Now let's discuss about what we are gonna do next. We have 7 minutes, like 10 minutes. So guys, is there any new student in the class today who failed to attend yesterday's demo class? Is there any new student? So Tariq is asking a question, how to check the Python version through CMD. I hope, Tariq, you got response from the students as well. Rishika says Python space -- version, and Lokesh says Python 3 if it is in Mac. Perfect. So Tariq, if you are using, yes, thank you. So Tariq got the answer from the students itself. Very well done, guys. So Any new students in the class, guys, who failed to attend yesterday's class? So for them, what I want to say is you should make sure you guys join this WhatsApp community that we have for all our students. And this community, I will be posting all the recording videos, all the recordings of these demo classes. No new students in today's class? If there are any new students, please type S. So if you are a new student, please visit this link and then join the WhatsApp community that we have. In that WhatsApp community, I will be posting the recordings of this demo 2, and I will also be posting other related stuff. That will be our one communication till you guys register with us, right? So that is for not registered students. That is for everyone. Join that community, and I'm sharing my mobile number in the chat section. Make sure you guys save my mobile number and contact me if you have any queries regarding the course. Now, for all the students who I hope only Kishore is new to this class. So Kishore, I will be sharing a demo. I hope you got the demo class of yesterday's live video. If you haven't, please text me on WhatsApp. In that demo class, what I did was I explored the syllabus and I also explained you how our Plural Labs platform looks like. So all these recordings from Monday will be uploaded to the Plural Labs platform. No recordings will be available in the community that you guys are a part of now, right? So yes, let's open up tomorrow's page, demo day 1. Yes, in tomorrow's class we discussed about course timings. I hope you guys know what the course timings are. Monday to Friday for US and Canada students, and for Indian students it is Tuesday to Thursday, Tuesday to Saturday, right? 5 days of week. And timings for US and Canada citizens is 9:30 p.m. EST to 10:30 p.m. EST, and for timings for Indian students is 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. IST, right? So these are the timings, and yes, we will be having live sessions, recordings, materials, assignments, source codes, and you will be provided with the instructor email address and instructor's email address after you register with us, so that in future when you have some queries, when you are facing queries, you can directly write to the instructor and chat with him. Since I am the instructor and I am fine in you guys texting me on WhatsApp, you guys have my WhatsApp number. Once you register, I will try to handle your queries on WhatsApp as well. So while practicing, you can directly post queries, and you can expect a response from me as soon as possible, right?